They're flaming LA holes. Tone-deaf influencers are chasing clout, clicks, and cash by filming themselves among the charred wreckage of the California wildfires. Thomas Wu and Veronika Kostei were snapped on January 7, posing with a group of other influencers for selfies and videos with the Eaton fire, the second most destructive wildfire in the state's 173-year history, as their terrifying backdrop. Afterwards, Kostei posted a video of herself gleefully dancing in the street as ash and embers wafted by. The post was denied an interview with Kostei, and Wu failed to respond to repeated requests for comment. Creators' insatiable desires to go viral with funny, sardonic content will always override their empathy, commented a Reddit user about their insensitive actions. Others apparently took cruel delight in the destruction, thanks to their own petty grievances, critics claimed. Influencer Alexandria Pierce posted an Instagram clip called Karma, celebrating a Gelson's grocery store in Pacific Palisades burning to the ground. Why? She was barred from returning after filming a video with her dog there a decade ago. The actual store burnt down, she announced before she burst out laughing. No one died, okay? That's funny to me because their actual store, bitch. Some use the fires for their own mundane content, critics charged. Elias Weber posted a pic to Instagram last week that showed him hiking the Santa Monica Mountains within a few miles of one of the raging blazes. "Nothing stopping my grind," read the caption. "I ran as far as I could until I had to turn around." When critics accused him of risking not only his own life, but the lives of first responders should he require a requeue, he issued a statement addressed, "Dear Karens, I did not hurt anyone," he wrote, adding he's familiar with the area's terrain. "Now please go find something else to bitch and complain about." The post received copies of messages Weber received from first responders, telling him they saw nothing wrong with what he did. "The internet always tries to spin things, man," Weber told the Post, denouncing claims it was an attention grab. "I just went out there on my daily run and went to check on my backyard." Bianca Matisse complained on Instagram none of her recent flings checked on her during the fires and was blasted for exploiting the situation for the sake of content creation. Others were accused of milking the tragedy to peddle products. Sophia Rose Kelly shared on Instagram last week promoting pricey Erewhon Market B12 supplements for my Los Angeles family. Of the blowback, she posted, "All I am doing is sharing helpful supplements for people. How, the FK, are you taking this in any way besides positive? People are burning, but let me get this check real quick," commented one of her critics. Alexis Oakley, who doesn't live in an evacuation zone, posted an Instagram video that had folks seeing red. "One thing I am throwing in my just-in-case bag would actually be this makeup brush," she said. "Sounds like satire, but we know it's not," railed one critic. Sahara Ray looks like she's on fire in a post that had critics chiding her. YouTuber Marcus Olin traveled to the evacuation zones last week, contributing to the traffic that slowed those fleeing the danger. He said he intended to document the devastation on Snapchat and shared several posts chronicling his travels. He alleged authorities detained him for helping with the fires. All of the posts, except for Weber's Instagram photo, have been removed. The Post did manage to speak to one of the criticized influencers, who asked that her name not be used. She claimed it would be impossible to explain the pressure facing influencers trying to balance their work while navigating and experiencing traumatic life events like the fires. "Even if I explain how influencers are at the liberty of brands for post dates, I know that people will find a way to still be unhappy about it,"